Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, bringing it to you guys from ESPN 97.5, 925. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good right now. Brad, how you feeling, dog? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Book. I'm feeling great. I'm excited to be back on the air. Everybody, shout out where you are watching around the world. I already see somebody saying they're watching from South Africa. Yeah. What up, South Africa? We appreciate you.
God bless to everybody down there in Florida right now, man. That storm is coming through, and I'm supposed to be going to Fort Lauderdale on Thursday evening, and I don't know if that trip's gonna happen, man. But my prayers, man, goes out to everybody in the Florida area.
Yeah, Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, Ian is barreling down, man. He's coming down hard. But man, I tell you, my day has been awesome, man. My day has been awesome. I want to let everybody know, man, if you have not had a chance to check out The Woman King, you got to check it out.
Oh yeah, the new, is that Viola Davis?
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you, what a powerful movie, man. I mean, I don't give 2 thumbs up for movies ever. But this one right here, man, it totally had me from the beginning to the end. I don't know if it was those chairs they have at the movie theater now that rock all over the place with the action.
Oh, the D-box. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, man, if you want to see something powerful, you know what I mean, that will move you, that movie there, man, you had tears, man. It was like when I saw the movie The Wrestler, you know, and at the end of it, I just, told Charmel, let's go, baby. I couldn't say much more than that because it captured me and it made me feel a certain way when I watched it, such as this movie did. Like I say, put it on the list, man, to check it out. The Woman King. What a powerful movie.
Now, okay, if I have this right, so the movie Viola Davis, she's like the first female leader of Africa.
She's the leader of like this Amazon tribe.
Tribe.
And instead of having men guarding the king, it was all women. And I don't want to give nothing away, man, but what a movie! What a movie! I'm talking about I'm an action freak. I love it. I got to have a movie that's got to have some action in it. But this movie right here, man, the story was so captivating. It made you feel something inside as a human being, and you go, wow. And to be able to take you in a movie like that, of course you're going to see things that touch you anyway because of the time that it's in and whatnot. But right. I tell you, the story of this movie made you feel something that perhaps you will never feel before, as far as watching a movie. It was that powerful.
Do we think there's do we think there's Oscar contention for maybe one of these actors?
You know what, man? You know what? If she's not nominated for something, it will be a travesty of justice. Because the thing is, this is what I really took away from the film was Viola Davis is a 57-year-old woman, playing the leader of a Amazon tribe. That means she's got to be bad. That means she brought everything to the table. As far as this movie goes, you could tell that she put her heart and soul, everything, into this movie. And I tell you, this is going to be a classic, man. This is going to be a classic. And if she's not nominated, again, it will be a travesty of justice.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I am kind of right here with Cal Razin, who said I wasn't really interested in seeing The Woman King, but now because of your recommendation, I might check it out. I think I'm the same. The trailer didn't capture me.
The trailer didn't capture me either, man. I thought it was going to be JoJo.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
I thought it was going to be low budget. I thought it was going to. I did not think I was going to like the movie at all. And I tell you, man, to get me, you got to go out your way, man, and make everything right. I'm talking about all the little bitty detail. I'm talking about all the way down to the T. You gotta do it for me. I always go back to one of my favorite movies, The Predator. when Arnold Schwarzenegger and he jumps off the cliff. You know what I mean? He goes down, he lands in the water, and then he swims all the way to the bank. And then the predator, he sees the predator coming, so he sticks his face down in the mud. You know what I mean? Before the predator actually came up. But when he did it, he held his breath. And he made a big ball in one side of his jaws. You can see it. I go, man, why did they cut that out of the movie, man? Because that one little scene told me that he was acting. Out of that whole movie, the movie, every other scene in the movie captured me, except that one scene. And I always go back to it. When you watch The Predator, check that scene out. When he goes over the cliff, goes all the way to the bank, puts his head down in the mud, you can see him hold his breath for that scene.
I have to go. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. So this movie right here, you're not going to see any of that, man. Like I say, from the beginning, I'm talking about from the opening, it draws you in all the way to the end. Seriously.
Yeah, you definitely don't give too many movies like high recommendations. I don't
Right.
know what the last movie you saw that you really loved. So this is kind of shocking for me. This is kind of shocking for me.
I don't like movies, man. These days, just because normally the CGI.
Yeah.
And it seemed like in this movie, it was zero CGI.
It's all practical.
Zero CGI. Yeah, it was just like a real movie. And maybe that's what made it feel have that feel for me that I needed, because literally zero CGI in this movie. In today's era of making movies, that's normally not going to happen.
No, you gotta be married to CGI. Most movies, and I like the Marvel movies and some of these big budget things, right? But there's nothing like when they can do it for real in the camera.
Yeah,
and it's legit. It adds a sense of realism that no amount of computer graphics can ever replicate.
We watched Ben-Hur.
The new one.
Yeah, then you go and watch the Ben-Hur from back in the day, or the Ten Commandments. You're not going to get the same feel if you watch today's movie compared to yesterday's. You're not going to get the same feeling at all. And this movie totally had that same feel of me watching a movie the way I grew up watching it. It was no leg slaps.
Snug, it was snug and stiff.
Everything was snug, man. Boy, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, the woman.
High praise.
Yeah.
High praise for the Woman King. Speaking of like practical versus CGI, one character I feel like I prefer real, even though it didn't look as good as the CGI, was when Lou Ferrigno played the Hulk. I like the Lou Ferrigno Hulk more than the CGI Hulk, because even though you could kind of see his skin sometimes through the paint, even though he didn't say anything, he seemed more believable to me than this big computer throwing cars around.
I kind of agree with you on that. You know what I mean? I mean, the CGI takes it to a comedic, not a comedic, but a what should I say?
Unrealistic, unbelievable,
unrealistic,
cartoony.
Cartoony. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It adds that cartoon layer for me that I'm not looking for when I watch a flick like that.
Yeah. You just don't. Sometimes that really does take you out of the movie. That's why I don't know why they don't make smaller movies. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, for instance, we were talking the other day about old movies like Beverly Hills Cop or Fletch or whatever. These were just very small stories when you think about it.
Well, just think about this here, though. Just think about how watching Fast and the Furious, from a CGI perspective, and then you watch the Dukes of Hazzard.
It's a little different. It's a little different.
You're damn right. It's a little different. I think I'd rather have a CGI effect, as far as something like that goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
but then like
you think about this here too, Godzilla. How much more Godzilla has become CGI compared to
the guy in the rubber suit.
Yeah, exactly. Which one would you want? Boy, you know what I mean? The
The
CGI,
nostalgia in me likes the guy in the rubber suit carrying around the miniature town that's obviously made out of paper. You know what I mean? They just set up this little paper town. Or like the claymation
Oh,
King
man.
Kong, where you could tell he's not real and he kind of moves all herky
Yeah,
jerky.
exactly.
Those are my favorite, man.
Oh,
Those are
yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite. But
I
like
mean,
small stories, like for instance, a movie like Rocky. I see a question that we have about Rocky, and we'll take it in a second. But like a movie like Rocky would never get made today. It's not a big enough story. Some washed up boxer goes the distance with the champ. He doesn't even win at the end.
yeah, that's true.
Like
That's true.
they would never make that today.
I mean,
You know,
it wouldn't have the same effect.
or
You
it'd
know?
be on Netflix,
Yeah.
Maybe, or Hulu.
It wouldn't be a movie that, like, we remember like for the rest of our lives. It's not that type of movie.
No.
It's not something that is going to be 5, Rockies, just from, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? No, I mean, timing was everything, as far as that movie goes. But CGI for me is good for certain movies, but for certain movies, like this one, it definitely wasn't needed at all with this movie. You got to check it out, man. The Woman King was such a powerful, awesome movie that if it don't move you, if you you take your lady and she ain't crying, it's a problem, man. I swear, man, because I was crying.
You got a little salt from the popcorn in your eye. That's all that was.
Yeah,
boy, I think we got to take a break, but we have some super chats on the other side. We got wrestling stories. We got sports stories. We got all kinds of stuff.
I'm just talking, man. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Paid monetary spokesperson for Walker, Texas lawyer.
I'm 6-time world champion Booker T, and I face tough competition all over the world. But when it comes to insurance companies, I tag in Walker, the Texas lawyer.
Hey, if you've been in an accident and you want me to fight for you, call me.
Now can you dig that?
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We got a lot to talk about here inside the Hall this week, man. We had some boxing go down this weekend. Floyd Money Mayweather stepped back in the ring. Of course, we got some talk as far as sports and entertainment. But I don't know, man. Brad, what should we kick this thing off?
We have a couple super chats. I just feel like we should take them because they're related somewhat to what we were talking about. Cali Toenail says, "Boat, I see that Cali Lakers hat love all day." Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Laker fan, but I just had the hat in the. I'm not a Laker fan, but I'm not a Laker diehard. By the way, remember we talked last week about the Celtics head coach, Ime Udoka, and the relationship. I was speaking from a place of ignorance because I said, what's the big deal if you have a relationship kind of within the organization? Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, there's power structures at play. I did not know that he was in a relationship, engagement.
Yeah. He married to one of the hottest women in the world.
Nia Long. Like, bro, you're all the way on the wrong.
Yeah. That's
You got Nia Long at home and you're looking at some woman who's working in sales at the Celtics from Boston. Come on, man.
Sometimes brothers, man, they just want to go. They want to go down to the ghetto. They don't want to go to the high class clubs, man. They want to go to the seedy part of town. You know what I mean? So
give me something that has a $10 cover charge.
I'm serious, man. He might catch one walking on the street. You know what I mean? Because some of the brothers, some of them just got that mentality, man, and just want to go gutter. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That's brother,
crazy though. You have Nia Long. You have Nia Long at home.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it's definitely a downgrade anyway.
Nia Long is the guy is the girl that they talk about in the songs of like, thinking that you're gonna cheat with.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I need a Nia
Or you
Long.
just wish you had a chance with,
Yeah.
yeah,
Come on,
shot at,
man.
you know what I mean? And there's some brother like this who got it going on and then just mess it all up. I'm gonna tell you, man, he just threw away a whole lot, man. This scandal, it ain't going away, just like the Brett Favre scandal. It ain't going away
Oh,
no time
no.
soon. And to be able to, to be able to come back from this, it normally don't happen. Normally you don't come back, from something like this when it have to do something with emotional, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Emotions from, throughout, and I just think myself, I always say, you put yourself in a situation, something can happen. I say that all the time. As
Mhm.
well as today, you can't do nothing without somebody finding out about it. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, I was looking at on the news last week where this girl was being stalked, and she didn't know how her stalker was finding her everywhere she go. He had put a pair of earbuds in her car and was tracking the
It's tracking
earbuds.
them. Wow.
Yes. So these days, man, you can't do nothing without having a high chance of getting caught. Seriously. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't get it more than anything. Why put yourself in that situation? I just don't get
Yeah.
it.
Well, but the difference between Ime Udoka and Brett Favre is one is, definitely bad. There's an emotional, thing. There's a family involved. There's all these things. But it's just a scandal where there's no legal repercussions. He didn't hurt anybody but himself and his family, right?
Yeah.
Brett Favre hurt many a family, stole money, and could potentially face, I don't know if there's criminal charges to be drawn up against that, but I have to feel like if you're misallocating public funds that should be going to welfare and you're using it to build a volleyball stadium, you might have some charges brought up against you.
Yeah, yeah, but still, I'm just saying, putting yourself in a situation, like that, it can come back to haunt you just for a good time. That's the only thing he was doing. He was having a good time. He was having fun, and cheating on the side. At the same time, I was listening to the question posed to Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal was asked about the same situation. He said, "Man, it's hard for me to judge, man." I said, "I can't judge him on it because I did the same thing. You know, I ended up losing my family. I was living in a house and it was what 27,000 square feet, and he said he was in there by himself. Said the one thing that he missed more than anything, I think he got 5 kids, something like that,
Mhm.
was walking in the door and hearing, "Hey, daddy, 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 daddy." You know what I mean? That right there, he said he missed that, and that crushed him more than anything. And you don't really miss it until it's gone. You know what I mean? And I'm sure this brother right now, he's hurting in a whole lot of ways because this is affecting perhaps not only his personal but his financial.
Oh, absolutely.
And when that start getting messed with, that's when things really can go haywire. That's when you really start wondering, what the hell did I do? You know what I mean? So I get it, but it's too late to turn back now. I think it's a song. It's too late to turn back now. Yeah, yeah, it
Take your
is.
word for it. Uh, but did you see when they were covering the story on ESPN, did you see that little altercation between Stephen A and Malika Andrews where he kind of had to shut her down on the air? Did you see
I
that whole
heard
thing?
something about it. I didn't see it. What happened with that?
I think that she was alleging that he was kind of, I don't know if she was alleging that he was kind of victim blaming a little bit on the women's side of it, a thing, but he wasn't. And she said, first off, if that's what you're doing, Stephen, stop. Like, you need to stop now. And then Stephen A came back and was like, first of all, this is my show, and nobody's gonna tell me to stop anything. Let's get that straight. And then, I mean, he went off. I'd never seen him get so
Did you
angry.
think he was in the right or in the wrong?
I had to see the whole conversation. I think that he was I think she misunderstood what the point he was trying to make was. And so he had to kind of, I don't want to say check her because that's kind of the wrong way to characterize it. He had to correct her
Yeah,
line of thinking.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to check it out because
But when you tell him like if you tell somebody stop on their own show,
Yeah.
you're gonna get. And I like Malik Andrews. I think she's a hell of a talent. She's really good at what she does. I'm a big fan. But probably not the right move, especially a guy like Stephen A.
Stephen A. Man, brother's been getting real bossy on the show. He's been getting real
It's
bossy.
his show.
It is. You know what I mean? And that's what worries me more than anything. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay? I'm gonna leave it at that. Because me and my wife. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say we have another super chat, but
Let's get it.
I'll have to maybe I can pull that clip of Malika. P Series says, which is the better movie, Rocky 3 or Rocky 4?
I'm partial to Rocky 3, man. Mr. T played a hell of a role. It was just good action. You know what I mean? That movie literally put Mr. T on the map as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. The A-Team was definitely the TV show that put him on the map. But when you saw Mr. T in that role, you said, this dude's good, man. I thought Mr. T was going to have a hell of an acting career after that. It all stopped right there. But Mr. T played a hell of a role. Now, Rocky 4 was good just as well. Both of them was really, really good. So it's hard for me to pick one. But if I had to go with one, it would be 3.
I'd go 3 as well. 3 is my favorite of the franchise, like of all 5 of them. I just love 3 because I think it has the grounded elements that the first 2 have, because you have Mick dying and Rocky needs to rebuild, but then it has the fantastical over the topness of Rocky with Clubber Lang and Thunder Lips and all and all these things. But 4 is good too. I haven't seen the new version of 4. I haven't watched it yet. I watched the documentary about Stallone, and he's sitting there watching the original cut of Rocky 4, and he's so mad when he's watching. He's like, oh, I don't know why I did that. I should have done. And he has all this other footage, and he's like, I wish I could have looked at the movie the way I see it now back then.
He didn't like it?
No, he didn't like Rocky 4 at all, and he recut it all. Like it's apparently it's a whole different movie.
Like I said,
I haven't watched it yet.
I liked it. I thought it was put together really good. Being in Russia, having to go there, everything seemed like it played out very, very well. What I liked in Rocky 3 was Mr. T getting ready to go for the heavyweight championship of the world, and they're giving Rocky his big statue, and T shows up and he tells Rocky's wife, hey woman, you want to be the real man? Why don't you bring your pretty little self over to my apartment tonight? My apartment. And I'll show you a real man. Rocky living in a mansion. Mr. T say, why don't you just bring your pretty little self over to my 1,500 square feet apartment tonight? And I'll show you a real man.
Hey, look, he said, I don't need a lot of space to lay it down. You know what I mean? I don't need a whole lot of room. I can get busy.
Oh, man, that part in the movie always got me, man, because the brother was living in an apartment.
and you're overshooting with 1,500 square feet. That thing was about 900, 850.
Yeah.
850. It's got a kitchen, a living room, and a bed.
You're right. Especially if it's in LA, it might be 500.
Paying $5,000 a month. So I want to. You should watch that doc. It's free on YouTube. It's about an hour long of Stallone and him looking at the Rocky 4 and just saying, "Oh, what did they do there? Why did they do that?" Da, 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 da. So it's really interesting. But yeah, I'm going Rocky 3 out of that one. We have other super chats. I think we went a little long on the last segment.
Let's take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. And I tell you, man, I cannot wait because right now I'm feeling good. I told you guys I had a therapy done on the knees, a PRP therapy, man. I told you I was going to be dunking in a couple of days. But today I was doing the running, man. I'm back. I'm back. So I'm just saying.
You're back in 1985.
I'm feeling good. Wife had to slow me down for a minute, man, because I thought I was kid and play.
Paid monetary spokesperson for Walker, Texas lawyer.
Hey, this is Booker T.
And I'm Queen Charmel.
Everybody out there, we will be supporting HBCU football on CW39.
As a Spelman grad, I know I'm supporting them. But remember, If you're injured in an accident, who you gonna call?
Walker, the Texas lawyer.
That's right.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're just bringing it to you, everything sports and entertainment, as well as what's going on in Hollywood. Like I say, guys, you got to check out that movie, man, The Woman King. Awesome, awesome flick. One of the best movies I've seen in quite some time, man, and quite a long time. So definitely highly recommend it, coming from the 5-time champ.
We have another super chat coming in here from Aaron C. We were talking about Roman Reigns last week and him versus Logan Paul. And Aaron C wants to know, am I the only one that thinks celebrities shouldn't get title shots at Roman when you have wrestlers that have been working their behinds off?
Yeah, I don't look at wrestling that way. You know what I mean? I don't look at
Yeah.
wrestling like guys, in line and they got to get a shot. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to get a turn. Wrestling is not like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of guys in WWE that are never going to be the world champion. It's a lot of guys in WWE that's never going to get a world title shot. And I know, a lot of people may look at that and go, well, that's wrong, but that's not the way the wrestling business is. I run a wrestling company, Reality of Wrestling. If you haven't checked it out, check it out on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe as well. Hit the little bell. But I remember one of my guys came to me one day and he said, hey, Book, I've been here, like 9 years, man. I never had a Reality of Wrestling, I've never won the Reality of Wrestling title. And I told him, you're never going to win it. I mean, because he wasn't in my picture as far as one of the guys that was going to be the Reality of Wrestling champion, representing Reality of Wrestling. Now, he may have been the television champion. He might have been part of the tag team champion. But as far as me, in my eyes, seeing that person, in that Reality of Wrestling role, I don't ever see him being. Now, he may work to it, and it might happen one day, but it's not something on my radar. So I just don't look at it like that. Now, when I look, just say, for instance, celebrities coming in, not getting a world title shot, but just say, for instance, when Lawrence Taylor came in and wrestled Bam Bam Bigelow, that was a huge match. You know what I mean? It was a guy coming from, when Bad Bunny did his thing with WWE, it was huge. It was huge for that audience, that genre that perhaps we hadn't tapped into, that we're trying to get to watch our product. So wrestling is not about wrestling. And when people start looking at it only being about wrestling, they're missing the big picture.
I agree wholeheartedly. And to me, Logan Paul, I don't have any issue wrestling Roman Reigns for the title in Saudi Arabia. Like, I have zero issue with that. Now, if that was the main event of WrestleMania, maybe I have a little bit of a different feeling about that. If it was the main event of SummerSlam, I might look at it twice.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's the main event, presumably, at Crown Jewel, I think it's a perfect venue, honestly, for it. I think it makes the most sense. And look, Logan Paul's not going to win the title.
Well, I don't see it happening, but anything could happen.
Anything can happen, but he's not
anything
winning.
could happen. But I think the story with Logan Paul, first, he's not a boxer. Fought Floyd Mayweather. Being a guy who want to go out after the big fish, all the time. I get that, man. Yeah. So. As well as if he would have bombed on television and didn't go out and do well, we could actually be having this conversation. But the kid went out and actually did really well. So people are going to wonder, how well is he going to do against Roman? I've always said with Roman, everybody that walked away from a match with Roman, they have been in their best match. So let's see exactly what this kid brings to the table.
Yeah. I think he's going to crush it. And I actually saw him because I guess we're going to talk about Floyd. I was unaware that Logan and Floyd have beef. Did you know about the whole issue of Logan, I guess, didn't get his cut of the pay from their pay-per-view?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about this, and it seems to be a continuing battle between those two of trying to, or apparently Floyd was making some deals on the side.
A portion of his money.
Right, because Floyd was kind of making deals, I guess, on the side and wasn't cluing everybody in on them or something of that fact. Allegedly, I don't know if any of this is true from what I read.
You know, Floyd probably said, "Man, look, you got your money, and that's all you're gonna get." Okay, that's the way business works sometimes.
Remember when he fought Connor and he was like, "Look, I'm the A side."
Exactly. You know what I mean? Take your money and be happy with it, because it's more than you're gonna get anywhere in this game. Seriously. So if I was Paul, I'd be happy with the money I got.
And I'm sure, though, going back to the Saudi Arabia show, Logan's probably going to get compensated really well with some of the crown prince's money.
I'm sure he's going to get a grip for going and do that deal. You know, you don't go over there and not make money. That's the one thing about those shows. That's what they're designed for, to go over and give a good show. And let's get ready to go back again in 6 months or whatever.
2 shows a year. Let's cash them checks, man. I mean, I think the deal was for, I think it's $250 million a year to do 2 shows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, hey man, let's go get this live money.
Live golf tour. Let's do it. What did you think of Floyd's fight over the weekend?
It's crazy, man. Let me be honest, man. I ordered the fight, and I don't know, around 11:30, I fell asleep. Okay. Sharmell was somewhere, and then she walked in and woke me up as the fight was in progress. Floyd was in the ring. And then I saw Floyd hit the guy, and the guy went down. I thought that was the end of the fight. I had to go back and watch it on YouTube, and I realized the fight didn't go but 2 rounds. I thought that was the end of the 10th round or something like that. But Floyd got him out of there, got him in and got him out of there quick. He would pick that check up, and body shot, pretty much was the beginning of the end, and then one big shot to the head. Kid went down. It was all over with, pretty much.
Do you think he's damaging his legacy with these fights? That's what a lot of people say. I don't really feel one way or another, because a lot of these fights I don't take it serious, so I don't really care that he does them.
My thing is, I watched that fight, with the Japanese kid. The kid might have landed 2 punches on Floyd. He landed one good body shot, and I saw him land one good flush head shot on Floyd. And I don't know how hard the shot was. We know brain damage is something that's real. I'm sure the older Floyd gets, the more he's going to lose, his timing. He's going to lose a step sooner or later. But I say, do it as long as you possibly can if you're having fun, if you're not getting hurt. More importantly than anything. And I don't think I've seen Floyd hurt in any of these fights, these exhibitions that he's been having, even against Connor or anybody else that he's been fighting. Because Logan, none of these guys have hurt Floyd. So I say, if you can, I don't know how much money Floyd got for that fight. I would say no less than 10 million, maybe more. When you're making that kind of money and it's a fight that's not even going to be on your record, go pick it up. Especially, this guy was an MMA fighter.
Right.
He wasn't a boxer. He was an MMA fighter. Floyd could beat any MMA fighter any day of the week in a boxing match.
He earned between 15 and 20 million.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's easy money. That's almost like monopoly money for Floyd. Let me go pick it up, go pass, go, and come on back home. You know what I mean? But I think they're setting up for a Pacquiao rematch or something like that. I think we're going to see Floyd and Pacquiao in the ring one more time.
Do you really?
I think that's the end game. I really do. I really feel like that's the end game for this deal. Pacquiao actually was in the house for that fight. Pacquiao had a fighter on the card. Pacquiao.
Are they going to do it like an exhibition style though?
No, I don't know if it's going to be. I can't see Floyd and Manny having an exhibition. I think it would have to be a real pay-per-view fight with the that fight, if he loses, would go on his record. I don't think those two can have an exhibition and people really want to see it. It would have to be the real deal.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a draw anymore.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if they set it up in Caesar's Palace, would you MGM? Would you go see it? That's the question.
I mean, there's a number of factors that depends on that. Like, am I getting in? Like, do I just got to get myself to Vegas and they're gonna let me in as with a press credential?
Yeah.
Well, then hell yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
I mean, yeah, but would I pay $100 for it on pay-per-view? No.
You might not, but a lot of people would.
Would you? Would you pay $100 to see it on pay-per-view?
I don't want to see the fight really, unless I was getting a press credential. That's the only reason I would really see that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the undercard probably would be good. I'm sure they have some good fights on the undercard. Main event is just the draw more than anything, but I'm sure they're gonna have a hell of a undercard on that for a fight like that. So I would love to be in the house for it. We gotta take a break, guys. We gotta take a quick break. Stick around. You're inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
What the indie world meant to me. It was kind of like when you were an artist and you start, like for example, a comedian, you start playing the small clubs. If you're a band, the same thing. You start playing the small clubs, you kind of learn your repertoire, you learn how different audiences react. There's like maybe more hostile environment, and it's way more personal because there's less people there. There's less of like things around. It's just you and the audience, and I feel that's when you really learn your craft. That's when you learn how to adapt, how to change, how to find something that works. So to me, it's kind of the foundation to everything I do. And that's Big E. And that's his foundation to everything he does.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back, guys. We just chopping it up right now. Getting a few super chats in, talking about everything sports and entertainment. Where we at, man? What we got?
Let me pull this.
What happened to this, man?
There's this thing on the shout out to Roadcaster, but if I hit the wrong button, like it does stuff to the voice. So I could
Look, I could have this deep voice.
I could have this cartoony voice.
I can sound like a robot.
I mean, I like it. I like it, but I don't have a use for it right now. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, man. Yeah.
Anyway,
somebody trying to disguise your voice, like you can use that, right?
I know where you are.
It is a fun little tool now that you play around with it. We were talking about, of course, Floyd Mayweather and these exhibition fights. He just announced another one that he's going to be doing, I think, in November, in Dubai, and he's continuing on. I mean, would I like to see a Manny Pacquiao fight? I guess, but to me, I think that he's damaging his reputation in some ways because, for whatever reason, even though he is one of the greatest boxers of all time, and you can make a legitimate argument that he's the greatest to ever do it. You can make that argument. I wouldn't make it, but other people would. He doesn't seem to have that same reverence that others do. When you bring up a George Foreman, or you bring up a Muhammad Ali, or you bring up a Sonny Liston, or you bring up any of these guys, Sugar Ray, he doesn't seem to carry the same reverence, or even a Manny Pacquiao. Why do you think that is? I think it's because I don't want to say he's cheapening his legacy because that's not the right word to use, but the fact that he's almost he'll do whatever for the money. I mean, that's his whole gimmick, right?
Well, I can't look down upon him for being all about the money. Do you know how many boxers in the game went through their careers, made money, and ended up broke?
I'm sure a ton of them.
You look at a Mike Tyson. You're talking about boxers being revered. Mike is one of them.
He is.
Mike is one of those guys. You hear his name and it rings all over the world. But I tell you, when you walk into Floyd Mayweather's mansion in his garage, and that's the only thing that counts at the end of the day, is creating generational wealth, and that's what Floyd is doing. I don't think Floyd is thinking about just himself right now. He can't be, because he's going in the middle of that ring and he's fighting. And that's something that I will do to the end, is fight for my family and my kids. It ain't about me no more. And I can almost guarantee you, if you ask Floyd today, if it was about him, he would say the same thing. It's not about him. And you might think it is. One may perceive that, but I see Floyd Mayweather being a different than any boxer that has ever lived, being able to create generational wealth for his family throughout the history and the annals of time. No boxer has never done that. Not one.
Look, I'm not in disagreement, and I have no problem with him making money. What I'm just saying is, with him doing these kind of fights, with him going out there and doing the Conor McGregor fight as his 50th official boxing match and then retiring, has he worn down the reverence on his name?
No, I think it's smart, man. My thing is this: Floyd understands going in the ring with one of these young guys and fighting. There's a chance every time he's going to lose.
Yeah, a minute one, but a chance.
Say again?
Like a small one, but a chance.
No, not just a small one, a big chance. Floyd, at his age, going out here fighting one of these young guys, he could get knocked out in a heartbeat. So for Floyd Mayweather to step away from the boxing game to where it's hard knocks, I think it's the smartest thing he could have ever done. And I cannot knock him for picking up a check, fighting these guys, just like Jake Paul, Logan Paul. I can't blame those guys, you know what I mean, for creating this aura of being, internet sensations. And then, okay, I'm an internet sensation. Let me see how I can do it in this boxing game, end up doing well, and end up making a boatload, a ton of money off of it. Man, I can't hate on those dudes, man. I just cannot. And Floyd, he's one of them, man. Floyd is doing it his way. And if somebody's going to pay me $10 to $15 million to come fight an MMA fighter in Japan, where I know I have a very small chance at even getting hit, I'm coming to pick it up.
Well, check this out. This actually just was published an hour ago on Yahoo Sports, talking about Mayweather. And Mayweather was asked if he would fight former rival Manny Pacquiao, who was in attendance at the exhibition fight over the weekend. Mayweather said he wouldn't face Pacquiao or any high-level boxer, that he only has interest in facing YouTubers or MMA fighters. He said, "I'm retired from the sport, and I didn't let the sport retire me. I'm always going to put myself in a good position now to where, just like I was doing fighting at the highest level, I'm dictating the fight and I'm in control."
Smart, man. That's smart. You know what I mean? I'm not going to blame him. I thought the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd thing perhaps would have.
I think that, I mean, yeah.
And the thing is, it still may. It's still may. I mean, because they're talking
money talks.
Well, they're talking about it. They're talking about it. If $100 million come across the table, Floyd's going to be in that fight again in Vegas, and I'll be there to see it.
But, him fighting YouTubers is a little bit different than when Muhammad Ali fought Antonio Inoki, right? Like, of course, that was a gimmick, a draw, an exhibition. It gained a lot of interest outside. Even him fighting YouTubers and MMA fighters is different than when he faced the Big Show and had his own Inoki moment. Yeah. Those are different. These, to me, it's like, the greatest boxer of all time is going to end his career, his athletic career, fighting a bunch of guys on YouTube.
Well, the thing is, this fight was $26, $28. I don't know what it was. You ain't got to watch it, and Floyd, I'm sure Floyd knew the buy rate wasn't going to be anywhere near what he was doing when he was on top of the game. Floyd's in a different place in his life now. And me personally, I can't blame a man that still want to go out there and test himself. You know what I mean? Because
But how much of a test is it?
It's a test. Whether any man that walk in the ring got a chance. That's got
Sure.
2 hands. I feel like it's a test. But to still be able to go in the ring, test yourself, still be able to do what you love, do what you've been doing since you was a little bitty boy, and not let someone tell you when you can do it or not. Man, that's huge. So I say, in my opinion, it's not tarnishing his legacy at all. Because the only thing that could have tarnished Floyd Mayweather's legacy was a loss when he was doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think you could take away any way of his accolades, just because he's, not in the game and still doing it. You know what I mean? There's no way you can do that. You know what I mean? It's like these baseball players. You know what I mean? Do something off the field and then get judged. For what they did on the field, you know what I mean? Like a Pete Rose and whatnot, So my thing is, man, I cannot look down upon Floyd Mayweather for going out there and still wanting to compete, still wanting to test himself as a man. Because I know I'm always
looking for a fight, is what you're looking for.
I'm serious, man.
Book walks in these wrestling conventions like, one of y'all just say something to me.
Somebody just say something.
Say something.
What is Meltzer?
Hey, man, I don't know if you could take Meltzer. Meltzer's looking jacked. He's looking jacked, Book.
That's on film, bro. He doesn't look like that in real life. He's about 5'6".
Let me ask you this before we go to break. Is Floyd Mayweather on boxing's Mount Rushmore? Not your personal boxing Mount Rushmore, but just, is he on those 4 faces? Is he one of them?
No, not really. Be honest, in my opinion, because Floyd didn't have that fighting style to put him on Mount Rushmore. He had that fighting style to put him, put him in the bank and be able to make more money.
Have a stat sheet.
Yeah, I'm serious. But as far as being a pleasing, aesthetically pleasing fighter, bloods and guts warrior, nah, Floyd ain't do that. But he fought a lot of those guys who were, bloods and guts warriors, and he went out there and made those guys look like they shouldn't have never been in the ring with him. That's what Floyd Mayweather was so good at, being the ultimate pure boxer. You know what I mean? So yeah. He definitely won't be on Mount Rushmore, but I don't think that matters.
It might to some people. I don't think it matters to him. I think his 50-0 record's impressive, but it's not enough to get up there.
You know what the thing is? I think in Floyd's own mind, he's the only one on the Mount Rushmore.
He's all 4 faces.
I'm serious. So, and the thing is if I was Floyd, I would think the same thing. Seriously, I really would. We got to take a break, man. We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and Diego de la Cruz now, obviously the veteran here between the two. Wait a minute. Scissor. Les hits a head scissor. That takes some crazy athleticism. Splash. Les is showing us what he's got. Oh my gosh, cover 1, 2, and oh man. Ada Cristiano there, and now it's Bedlam. It's Bedlam. It's a brawl. It's a brawl here at the Summer of Champions.
Eat your damn popcorn. Go keto.
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, talking everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything sports and entertainment, coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. And it's all about the people.
I knew you were going to say that. I had a feeling you were going to say it's all about the people. Book, look, we've been talking about a lot of stuff this week, and we have more sports entertainment to get to. We have some super chats from our fans all across the universe, all across the great world that we live in. Shout out where you're watching us from the chat. We always like to know. And you know what? Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're listening to us on the air, or you're checking us out on a podcast app, go over to the Apple Store and leave a 5-star review, leave a little rating. Let us know what you think of the show, if you will. It helps us out with your algorithms. We pop up for more people, so everybody can step inside the Hall of Fame 4 times a week. And we really appreciate some of our long-term subscribers and listeners and super chatters. And speaking of super chatters, Book, we got a couple of them. I don't know if we take them now or you have some you want to get into at the top of the show.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it now. I do it for you.
This is from this guy named Alex. Question for both of you. For the right money, would you rather get in a boxing ring or the octagon?
That's a tough question.
Well, it's not tough for me. It just depends on who's going to pay me more to do the ring announcing. I'll get in the box. I'll get in the ring. That's no problem. What check is bigger?
Yeah, you might be right about that, man. I don't know, man. I take my chances in the MMA ring opposed to a boxing ring.
Why is that?
Just because I'm pretty good from a grappling perspective. Just say, in my prime, my balance was always real good, and I was always a really, really good wrestler, even though I never took wrestling lessons, per se or anything like that. But I've always, for some reason, I've always had wrestling in my, back, in the back of my head, second nature. For some reason, I don't know why. But every time I've gotten in a ring with real wrestlers, they always would tell me, "Man, you're pretty good." So I think I would take my chances from that perspective, as well as I remember, some years back in my school, I tapped out like 5 guys in a row. I mean, literally, I just wanted to see how good I was from a wrestling perspective, and I took on like five of my guys in a row, and I literally tapped all of them out.
Well, look at that. So you got your answer. This guy named Alex would see Booker versus Punk in the UFC. Let's do it. This is from Aaron C. Are the Astros winning the World Series?
Man, them boys, man. Them boys definitely, they definitely got a chance. One thing about our city, man, we can always rely on them Houston Astros to go out there and give it 110%. And I tell you what, I don't know if they're going to win it or not, but I'm going to be pulling for them. I'm definitely going to be pulling for them.
Oh yeah, I mean they're doing well. They've already clinched their division.
Yep.
We'll see, man. The story in baseball has been, what's his name, Aaron Judge.
That dude's off the chain, man. He's unbelievable. The thing is, you can look at Aaron Judge and say, "This is the stud, man. This guy's a stud." I mean, you just look at him. Yeah, he got baseball written all over him. Seriously, and he's a hell of a player, man. Hell of a player.
And 60 home runs. Yeah. It looks like he'll probably tie at least the all-time American League record. Probably most likely shatter it. And then he's looking at, was it Barry Bonds has 73?
Yeah, anything it's crazy. You know what I mean? He's making it look easy.
Effortless. He's making it look effortless, man. And you, like you said, you could tell he's built for baseball. He's 6'7", whatever. He's a lean 6'7" too. Like he's cut. There's not an ounce of fat on him. Which when you're a baseball player, you can have a couple extra lubs and it's okay. But he doesn't have an ounce of fat on him. That man's just muscle.
he fit into that squad, man. He fit into that. He buy into that Yankee mentality. Clean cut, no mustache, nothing. You know what I mean? Just go out and hit, play ball. Yeah, definitely. He's cut from that cloth as far as the New York Yankees go.
It was just interesting that a few years ago, all the conversation was between him and Jose Altuve, who the MVP was going to be. And you literally have the tallest guy in baseball and the smallest guy in baseball. And they almost had the same stat line from the plate.
Yeah.
Bunch of home runs, bunch of hits.
Yeah.
Altuve
is a monster too, man. He's a little giant, seriously.
Do you think, we're talking about Pete Rose, do you think that like people who were involved in that 2017 Astros scandal, if you will, are their Hall of Fame chances going to be at risk? Like, is Altuve going to get in the Hall?
You know what? I would think not. You know what I mean? I don't think Deflategate is going to harm, Tom Brady or anything like that.
Right.
I think cheating in the game is a part of the game. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's just the way I look at it. It ain't like betting on the game or anything like that. But stuff like that, just say, for instance, a cork bat, nah, you ain't gonna get penalized for that too much. You know what I mean? That's just part of the game. Those I don't even think that's called cheating. I think they got another word for it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
It's not called cheating, but it's it's kind of called cheating.
Yeah.
Manipulating the rules.
Something like that.
But but guys like Mark McGwire or Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa, it doesn't sound like they're going to be getting in. I mean, they've had opportunities to get them in the Hall.
No, man, those guys seem like they're blacklisted. And I don't know. I really don't know what that's about. Mark McGwire.
The steroid thing,
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, I don't think those are the only guys that were cheating in baseball.
No.
You know what I mean?
No chance.
Did they get caught? I don't think Mark McGwire got caught.
Well, he was. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know if Mark McGwire actually get a positive test. I know he was.
I don't know. Did any of them get it?
No, he was say he was taking interest. Did Barry Bonds get a positive test?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Sammy Sosa get a positive test?
But what was it? Well, then what got him? Let's see. Mark McGwire pleaded the fifth. Roger Clemens. I don't know. I'll have to find out. But it was all alleged.
What I'm saying is, I don't remember anybody saying Barry Bonds tested positive for XYZ. I remember Mark McGwire. They said he was on Androstine. Okay, I know that's something that was on the ban list. Androstine. Okay, Sammy Sosa. I don't know what he was taking. You know what I mean? I don't
know what he's taking.
Whatever it was, it turned him white.
Yeah, he looks crazy. So Barry Bonds did test positive for 3 types of steroids.
Okay.
In his 2007 indictment. So.
All right.
There you have it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. I know Mark McGwire.
100%.
Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. Those guys are Hall of Famers. What Barry Bonds did before he was ever in that home run race, he was a Hall of Famer, as well as Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. And I just feel like it's a shame that these guys don't get a chance to go to Cooperstown because of, something like that. It's just me. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong, but I just don't think that because you can go back to, Babe Ruth and find something negative in these guys' lives to where you can say, man, he shouldn't be a Hall of Fame.
Right.
That's just my point on that.
I don't disagree with you. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, it was just announced that TNA, or Impact Wrestling's Hall of Fame, is going to have a new inductee. Raven is going into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. He had a lot to do with that company in the mid-2000s, kind of helping grow it. What do you think about that announcement? Because Raven's somebody we had on the show before. I think one of the most interesting guys in the history of the business, especially from creating a character. If you look at what he did in ECW, carrying that over to WCW, WWF, and then to TNA. What do you think about the announcement of Raven going in the Hall of Fame?
Scott Levy. Yeah,
Scott
man.
Levy.
You know what? I'm glad for him. I'm glad for Scott Raven. I always used to say, man, it's gonna be a monster tonight, man. And he used to always come by. It's gonna be a monster. It's gonna be a monster. You know, couldn't just say monster. You know, it's gonna be a monster, baby. And I swear, man, that's what I remember him saying so much. You know what I mean? Echoing me. But I always had a good time. You know, just talking to that dude, man. He was so intelligent, in so many different ways. Just to hear him talk back then was really pretty cool. And his career, you know, what he did in ECW, you know, quote the Raven Nevermore. I thought it was groundbreaking. I thought what Raven was doing back then was totally next level stuff. You know what I mean? And he had, you know, as far as checking off all those boxes, Raven checked off all the boxes, man. He was really good. I thought Raven was one of the best.
I think he was a no-brainer for the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, and I think you could make a case for him in a lot of Hall of Fames. And from what I've heard, he was kind of one of the like Scott Hall type brilliant minds. Like if you had a predicament, it's like go to Raven. Raven can figure it out for you. I mean, I don't know if you had that experience with him ever, but that's what I've always heard about him.
No, I never had any experiences like that with him. But Raven, you know, he cut his teeth in the Global Wrestling Federation. You know, WWE, WWF, actually, WCW. He's done it all. So definitely a guy that's fitting to be in the Hall of Fame. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're getting close, man. We're getting close to wrapping this thing up, and I know we got a few more super chatters. I think we do anyway. Brad, what we got, man?
I don't have any super chats on my chat, but I'll look.
Okay, well, I'll tell you one thing I did want to talk about was Tony Khan. Tony
the Conster.
The Khan.
The Khan.
Is made a few changes to AEW. I was reading something and it says the Khan doctrine. It's like the Reagan doctrine or the Obama doctrine. And it is there will not be granting any release requests going forward. You know, nobody ain't going nowhere. Everybody just forget about it. Okay. I saw an interview earlier today. Malachi Black trying to clear the air on a few things. One thing that he talked about was he never had a 5-year contract, and he's just taking some time off from AEW, and he will be back in due time as well. So that rumor is squashed right there. What do you think about you know, guys, you know, like Buddy Murphy? People talking about Buddy Murphy maybe making a return as well. What do you think about guys like Murphy and Malachi Black now? Excuse me. What do you think about guys like that?
It's a weird situation because for weeks we heard they want to get their release, they want to get their release, they want to get their release. And then you hear Malachi Black agreed to a conditional release. Now, I will say the wrestling news sites, sometimes unaffectionately referred to as the dirt sheets, sometimes they will make up stuff out of thin air. But other times, like to me, reporting he got his release, I could see them making up. Them reporting that he got a conditional release seems odd to me. Like, why those specific words? To me, if you say it like that, that means you got that from somebody. Somebody told you it's a conditional release. Now, why it changed, I'm not sure, right? What happened there? But
why what changed?
Why it went from he got a conditional release to now Malachi saying no release was ever requested. Something's off there.
You don't think the per se dirt sheets could just be making stuff up, or just
they could be, but I think that them saying conditional release is so specific that it had to be told to them by someone with some semblance of credibility, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Not me.
I could be wrong.
There's much stuff that we read that that comes directly from this show, and then we see it and it's totally misquoted. You believe?
No. I just said like they can make stuff up. I just feel like it's such a weird phrasing. I've never heard any other time someone gets a release. I've never heard conditional release.
Well, my thing is this: if Malachi was released, or he got his release, why wouldn't he come out and say it himself?
It's a fair point. I mean, now he's saying that he never requested it. So that's what I'm wondering. Like, where's the story coming from?
I'm saying
it sounds like cleanup's happening.
Well, the thing is, he never said it.
He never said it. No, he didn't.
He never said it once, and we never reported on him leaving or anything like that. Because there again, I don't know what's real when you hear it, on the internet. My thing is this: it would have been very, very simple for him to say, "Hey, I got my release from AEW. I'm going to be taking some time off, and hopefully I'll see you guys later on." None of that was ever said. And for me, we knew when Cody was gone.
Mm-hmm.
We knew exactly when the timeline was up. And for something like this, it just seemed like it was made up to create a story about another potential WWE guy, one out, to create a story. That's what it sounded like to me.
Oh, so you're saying that so there was no like AEW or Malachi, this was never a conversation. Meltzer, I think, because the Wrestling Observer was who originally reported the story, right? So that you do have to take that with a big grain of salt. But to me, you're saying though that Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer made this up out of thin air?
I think this is a story that just could have been made up just to create a buzz about another potential WWE guy coming back and leaving AEW. Perfect guy, Malachi Black.
Yeah, his wife is there, Zelina Vega. He's got the relationship with Triple H.
Yeah.
Not used the best, I guess, on AEW television. Like, you don't see him a whole lot on TV and something meaningful. I think he's a hell of a talent. I've always been a fan of his.
I even saw the return of the House of Black without him for the first time since his release. That's what they was talking about on the internet.
So if it's a made up story, but here's the other thing though. So who made up the 5 years? Because I remember Tony Khan, because Malachi Black in that clip says, "I never had a contract for 5 years." I remember Tony Khan saying something that he was signed through 2027. And then somebody in the chat, let me know if I'm misquoting. But I remember him talking about Adam Cole and Malachi Black and saying, "I got Adam Cole under contract to 2026. I got Malachi Black under contract to 2027. So, I mean, why would you say that if it's not true?
I mean, perception is reality. Right?
Yeah.
If you said, a lot of times people believe it. Well, you believed it, didn't you?
Well, I believe the guy who owns the company.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You believed it. So he sold you, right?
Well, I mean, there was no reason for me to doubt it. He didn't sell me. There's no reason for me to doubt that. Why would someone lie about that?
What I'm saying is, you took it at face value.
I did take it at face value.
You thought, man, these guys, there's no reason to talk to those guys. Didn't you think like that?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're getting at.
Exactly my point. So, if I throw it out there, it might stick. Somebody might believe it. If Aleister Black wouldn't have confirmed it, we still would have thought the same thing. We would be thinking right now, how did he get out of his contract, man? Something must be going on. Man, there's got to be a lot of turmoil there, man. Man, somebody's not happy. So it got you talking immediately when something like that goes up.
Well, here's the other thing, though. If no one asked for their release, why is there a Tony Khan doctrine about nobody getting their releases? If nobody asked for them, why would you even say that? Why would you even make that a rule of thumb of you're not getting your release if nobody's been asking you for their release?
Well, I think we've heard this before. I don't think this is a secret or anything as far as that company go. I don't think anybody's been released other than
they let their contracts expire.
Exactly.
I think the only one is Kylie Ray. She asked for a release and it was
yeah, and she wasn't someone that had a whole lot of star power.
Right. No.
At that time, so letting someone like that out of their contract, especially when they're going through, mental issues, we need to let you do what you need to do right now. So yeah, I get that. I understand that, but it hasn't been a lot of guys in that company. Most of those guys are, Joey Janela's even has written their contracts all the way out to the end when they hadn't been on TV. Sonny Kiss, where's he been? You know what I mean? He's another one. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot of guys. Marco Stutz.
He got his contract ran.
His contract ran out as well. So yeah, man. So this to me is nothing but hot takes and clickbait.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like that Malachi had to come out here and address all of this. It does speak to the craziness of the internet and how he said, I just want to go away and hang out and chill and get my life together, get my mind right, spend time with my wife, go on vacation, get relaxed and rejuvenated. And then he said he was getting death threats. Now, if he was getting death threats, from what I ascertained from that was from people who are diehard AEW fans.
Gotta be, man.
Saying, how dare you get your release and want to go back to WWE? Yeah.
It's amazing,
that's crazy.
Man. These fans have turned, cult-like, and it's sad more than anything because it seemed like people would be happy. I know when WCW and WWE was at its all-time peak as far as the rivalry go, everybody was happy as hell. You know what I'm saying? Then again, we didn't have Twitter. You know what I mean? We didn't have social media. I think the social media world definitely has turned things upside down, and it's made people, choose sides in so many different ways. We see our politics today like we've never seen it before, and I think it's due to Twitter, social media, people being able to go out there and blow that horn, man. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy with this life we're living in right now, but we're in it, and we just got to deal with it. We got before we take that super chat, we got to take a break. We got to take a quick break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
See what Harlem need? It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the fame. It was about the reckoning.
Edge, you have a big match tonight. Tell me, what's going on in your mind?
This is summer. Hey, kid. Did a good job out there, man. Maybe next time, though. Hey, what do you know about it next time? Boy, you crazy? Jump up. Hey, back up. Hey, back up. Lost your mind. Come on. Come on. I got your number.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and get that super chat in real quick, Aaron C.
All right.
Damn it. First of all, I can't. It's right next to the record button. So when I hit like record the segment, sometimes I hit
This instead.
Aaron C says, first of all, don't listen to anything Meltzer has to say. And second of all, I can see him wanting back in the WWE because obviously his woman is there. Yes, his lovely wife, Zelina Vega, is in the WWE.
Yeah, not just that, man. A lot of times you get somewhere and you realize, man, I don't know if I really wanted this or not. I tell young kids getting into the wrestling business, I say, man, be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean? Because this thing it's not like you see on television. It could get really, really hard. And then the more popular you get, man, it's lonely at the top as well. So, and I say it's lonely at the top because and you don't have to take it from me. Listen to someone like Ric Flair, who was, the world champion, multi-time world champion. And this dude always talked about how he could not stay in his room. He had to go out to the bar and just drink because he didn't want to be alone. You know what I mean? Because that's what the road is. Your family ain't out there with you. You by yourself. And then that was the pitfalls. Trying to entertain yourself, drinking, partying, wrestling, drinking, partying. It can become a nightmare at the same time. Seriously. So be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. And I'm sure though it's got a strain being, in a relationship and being in two different companies. Thankfully, AEW only does the one show a week. So you're only out of town, 2-3 days a week at the most. WWE though, different story. Several days a week. I don't know. Zelina hasn't been on television lately. So maybe this is a good time for them to spend some quality time together.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a strain, on a relationship of any kind. Just the fact that you're not in the same cities multiple days a week.
Not just that. Being in two different companies where, one company is getting hate and the other company is getting hate. You know what I mean? You getting hate, your girl's getting hate. It's just out in Twitter, you know what I mean? No matter whether you're in a relationship or not, man, those fans, man, they're cruel. You know what I mean? So I can imagine, what these guys are going through right now. Seriously.
Yeah. And, and you just don't want to have to, especially if you're in the same industry as your wife or your husband, you probably want to work in the same company together. This comes from Mike Mayfield. It says, Book, when you were training to be a wrestler, did you decide what was going to be in your arsenal, or did the trainer decide for you? Example, your scissor kick.
I made up everything. Nobody determined what I was going to do in the ring or anything like that. I pretty much figured out everything I wanted to go out there and do. I looked at a lot of wrestlers and tried to take away a little bit from, so many different wrestlers. We just saw Great Muta. He was one of the guys who I tried to emulate from a perspective when he hit the ropes and would, when a guy would drop down and Muta would like fly over the guy. I was like, man, that's what I want. I want to do it like that. You know what I mean? Bret Hart, the way Bret Hart used to do his suplex, I used to call it a giant suplex where he used to raise one knee up as high as he possibly can before he delivered it. Pat Tanaka used to do this amazing flying form, and I was like, man, I'm still in that. You know what I mean? I'm serious, you know what I mean? But I put my own little twist on it. Spinaroonie, of course, from my breakdancing days. Scissor kick came from a movie, The Best of the Best, with Eric Roberts, and that's the star. So definitely, man, big jumping sidekick. I didn't want to do a clothesline like most guys did, so I said, man, I'm gonna figure out how to do a clothesline with my leg. So that's where that came from. So I just tried to be innovative and try to be unique and be more importantly, I wanted to be different than every guy on the card.
Yeah. Well, that's how you have to figure out how to set yourself apart, right? I mean, everybody can do a collar and elbow tie up and a scoop slam and a lariat. You got to do something different.
Yeah, I always say in wrestling, all the moves have been taken. So you got to be able to take, what's out there and reconfigure it, make it your own. Like I say, add a twist to it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, adding a twist to it is the key. Look at our truth. He stole every move I did.
Still working too, baby. Ty Toenail says, I'm stoked. The greatest faction of all time, DX returns returns on the 10th. They should ban super kicks and let HBA give us sweet chin music. That would be good.
Hey man, DX is gonna be headlining 10-10 show. On Raw. So it's gonna be somebody else gonna be with them also for that show. Who was it?
I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't see
it's
it.
gonna be DX and I can't remember who else it is, but I know somebody else is gonna be there as well.
I guess Billy Gunn probably not gonna be a part of the DX festivity. They probably can't pull that one off.
I don't know, guys. Guys asking for their releases.
Scissor me daddy ass. We're gonna get that on Raw.
You never know. You never know. But
I don't even feel comfortable saying that. I don't even know what I'm saying.
I don't even know what it is, man. But I think it's I don't know. I guess he's the daddy of the sons, and he was known as the ass man.
Yeah.
Two and two together. I guess that's where it comes from.
But what's the scissor me thing mean?
I think that's just the Acclaim
Their
deal.
thing.
Yeah, they would do that instead of shake hands.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it means. I don't know what the
It just doesn't sound good. It just sounds weird.
Exactly. I don't know what the reference means. Let's just say that.
Scissor me daddy ass. Billy Gunn, probably not going to be there, but you know what? DX still a draw, man.
Well, I think to see Triple H and Shawn, together, that's just something that's just nostalgia, the business. And I think with the company changing, with Hunter's new role, man, I think it's time to just open the floodgates, man, and just let it all hang out.
I might be in the minority here, but I actually think the best version of DX was after Shawn left, and it was Triple H and China and the X-Pac and the Outlaws. That was my favorite version of DX.
But we ain't got a lot of them guys around right now. We gotta go with what we got. Okay.
I hear you.
See what I'm saying, man? You're like, you always want more. You know what I mean? Always want more. But we can bring Sean Waltman. Sean Waltman's probably gonna be there.
Yeah, X-Pac will be there.
Sure, X-Pac's gonna be there.
X-Pac will be there.
Yeah.
Road
Dog's gonna be there.
Yeah, he just came back to the company. Road Dog's gonna be there. Sean.
So I think that
We got 4.
We got 4. I think that's enough.
4's enough. 4's enough.
Yeah.
Before we wrap today, there was a match announced last week's Raw that I wanted to get your opinion on. Seth Rollins, Matt Riddle are going to go one-on-one at Extreme Rules in the Fight Pit. This is something they did in NXT. This is something they did back in the day, I believe, with Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart on a pay-per-view where they kind of made a little makeshift MMA octagon and did a fight in there. What do you think of the Fight Pit idea? I don't really remember it in NXT, so I'm kind of excited to see it with the caliber of 2 guys like that.
I remember it in NXT. Shane McMahon was, pretty much running it, and
well, that was Raw Underground.
Oh, that was Raw Underground. That's
the
right.
Fight Pit's something different.
Okay, well, it's got to be kind of like the same thing, though, right?
Listen, I'll Google a picture, but what do you think of it? It's like an MMA style match.
You know what, man? I'm all about trying to create, putting Riddle in his zone where he's going to be a little bit more comfortable. Hopefully, Riddle will be the one that we can lean on to try to create and make this thing the best we possibly can. But my thing is it's wrestling. When you're having a wrestling show, you gotta bring You got to bring out all the stops, man. You got to pull out everything. And a match like this, it could go either one or two ways. It could be good or it could be really bad. One of the two, you know what I mean? So I'm always about the challenge, seeing exactly, working with what we got. Let's see exactly what we can get out of this thing. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's gonna go. But with guys in the ring where they can't bounce off the ropes, they can't do stuff off the top rope. It's gonna be a little bit different. So let's just see how it play out.
That's what it looks like there. If you can see that, that's the fight pit in NXT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No ropes, nothing to jump off of, anything like that. So we just got to figure it out. So yeah, man. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes.
We'll see what happens. I'm excited. I mean, Extreme Rules is around the corner. I know you're going to be there. We'll probably talk more about that later this week and into next week. A lot of interesting matches have already been announced. But Book, I think we're almost here at the final thing. I just want to say next Saturday, not this upcoming Saturday, but the following October the 7th. Our next big reality of wrestling show goes down for the Booker T World Gym Arena. So go ahead and get tickets now.
Do it.
You still can. October the 8th, excuse me.
You know what? October 8th. Yeah. October 8th. That's the pay-per-view. I'll be at the pay-per-view. I won't be there, guys. I won't be there for that show, but it's still gonna be good. We got a lot of action going on, and my new group, The Heat, will be in the house bringing the noise. Just added a new member to The Heat also. I don't want to let nothing out of the bag right now. You guys find out about that real soon. Just make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do it now. I do it for you. Hey man, we got to get up out of here, man. Brad, as always, man, appreciate you for everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. And all you guys in the chat, thank you guys for stepping in, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Peace, guys. We out. See you next time.